All right, what's going on, everybody? Sharaja Singh here again, founder and CEO of Six Figure Ad Funnels. And in today's video, we are going to talk about the best advertising platforms for your business. Now, if you're a coach or a consultant or a service provider, a course creator, or anything of that sort, and you're not at 100K a month or even at 50K a month, then pay attention, because this is going to be extremely important for you. And when you figure this out, you're going to know exactly where to find your actual ideal clients. So, I've already written things on the board that we're kind of just gonna go over, right? Basically, there's 5 main advertising platforms that you can leverage. Now, I didn't include LinkedIn or Pinterest in this just because they're not the most profitable ads you can run. They're not the most profitable platforms, right? But we have 3 main ones, right? We have Facebook and Instagram, which you can run at the same time. We have Google and YouTube, which you can run separately, but I include them together in a reason you'll see in just a few minutes. And we have TikTok, right? Now, each of these platforms has their pros and cons. What we want to do is we want to understand which platform is best for your situation and why is that the best platform for you, right? So obviously, first we have Facebook and Instagram. Now, everybody knows Facebook ads, everybody has heard of Facebook ads, and a lot of people are running Facebook ads. But let's go over the pros and cons. Like, why Facebook ads, right? Who still uses Facebook? Because if you're anything like me, you don't really use Facebook at all for anything other than business reasons. But let's go over that, right? So Facebook has over 2 billion users, including Instagram, because they're managed by the same company. It has lots of ads on the platform, and it's advertiser friendly, in the sense that it's easy to run ads on Facebook. Like, it's not that complicated. It is a bit more beginner friendly than, say, Google or YouTube, right? And there's a lot of reach. Like, a lot of people are on Instagram. You see Instagram ads all the time. They work pretty well. Facebook ads is really, in my opinion at least, more about Instagram than it is about Facebook. Now, you'll have people disagreeing with me on this. They'll say, no, Facebook ads are better than Instagram ads. But in my opinion, one platform is gonna work better than the other for you. Because depending on your offer and your niche, more people are gonna be either on Facebook or on Instagram. Now, the good thing is that you can use both, right? It's another good thing about Facebook ads is you can use 2 platforms at once. You can advertise on 2 platforms at once. You can advertise on 2 platforms simultaneously. Now, you can't do that on any of these others. If you want to advertise on YouTube, it's just YouTube. Google is just Google. You can set up different campaigns, but it's only on Facebook where you launch a Facebook ad, and that same ad can go on Instagram too for no extra cost. That's pretty unique. You can be on 2 platforms at once. So that's why Facebook ads are still pretty good. Now, what are the cons of Facebook, right? Well, one, everybody is already advertising on Facebook. It's a red ocean. There's a lot of competition. The ad space on Facebook is pretty competitive because everyone's advertising on Facebook. That's why everyone's heard of Facebook advertising, right? It's very well known. Also, there's a lot of restrictions. Facebook has very sensitive policies as to what ads you can run, what ads you can't run. And if you violate any of those policies, even in the slightest, your ads can get rejected, your ads can get disabled, your ad account could get banned, and that's not good, because if your ad account gets banned, then getting it unbanned is, it's a mess. It's really, really tricky. Unless it's just a simple mistake, you can easily just appeal it, but more often than not, people have messes with getting ad accounts back. It happens randomly too. You could honestly just be completely fine, and then out of nowhere your ad account gets banned and disabled. That's happened a lot of times. What else? Yeah, Facebook deplatforms people, Instagram deplatforms people. One of my mentors, Jason Capital, actually got deplatformed on Instagram back in, I believe it was December of 2021 or November, and he didn't get his account back for a good 4 months. So in that time, he shut down his entire education business because all of his leads were coming from Instagram and TikTok. Most of them were coming from Instagram. Instagram banned his account, so now he doesn't have leads and he can't pay his employees. He had to shut down his whole business. It's not good. My sales coach as well, Mr. Bruno Bairami, also gets most of his leads from Instagram. He's been banned on Instagram twice And for the 2 weeks that he wasn't live, he didn't get any leads, didn't make any sales for his business. Happens a lot. Now, if you're running ads on Instagram and you get banned and you're relying on Instagram and Facebook for your ads, well, you can imagine why that wouldn't be a good thing, right? It happens a lot. People get deplatformed all the time. Also, ad costs have doubled since iOS 14 because Facebook has just made it harder to track people. And you can't be as specific with the targeting anymore. You can target based on affinities, interests, demographics, lookalike audiences, which are all great, but the actual tracking of the data is just not as precise as it used to be. So you have to spend more now just to get the same people to engage with your funnel. You also have a less engaged audience because the mental opt-in is lower. People don't go on Facebook and Instagram to learn things. They go to mindlessly entertain themselves while they're wasting time. Half the people that use Instagram and Facebook do so while they're sitting on the toilet and they just want to be entertained for 5 minutes while they're in the restroom. Instead of reading a book or watching a YouTube video, they're on Instagram. Or maybe they're waiting in line, or they're with their family and they're trying to distract themselves. I mean, like, people don't go on Instagram and Facebook to learn. They go because they're addicted to social media and they just want to be on their phone. So when people actually see your ad, they're not in an educative mindset. They're not in learning mode. They're not looking for solutions or thinking about how can I solve this problem or learn this. They're just wasting time basically. And they see your ad, catches their attention, they're curious, they click it. That's the kind of lead you're dealing with. Less mental opt-in, right? Yeah, lower mental opt-in. Also, it's colder traffic. So because of the lower mental opt-in, people are just naturally going to be colder to you. It's like cold traffic is colder on Facebook than say on YouTube, where people are in learning mode and they're actually looking for a solution. They're actually trying to learn things and you can actually communicate to them in a video that is longer than 15 to 30 seconds. People have low attention spans on Facebook and Instagram. You have like 15 to 30 seconds tops to catch their attention with a video. Now let's go to Google and YouTube, right? What are the pros of YouTube ads? Well, one, you have a large audience of over 1 billion people, again, which you have on pretty much all of these, big audiences on both of them. But the thing is, on YouTube, people are more engaged because people aren't on YouTube to just mindlessly waste time while they're busy doing whatever, right? Some people might, but there's a lot more engaged users on YouTube than there are on Facebook and Instagram. Me, for example, I only ever use Instagram when I'm posting content or I genuinely am just wasting time. I'm only ever on YouTube if I'm genuinely trying to learn something. Like, I don't just sit here and watch FIFA videos. I'm watching Alex Hormozi, Grant Cardone, Jason Capital, Gary Vee, Valdo Albuquerque, copywriting videos. Like, if I'm on YouTube for a reason. I'm not just wasting time, right? So people want to learn when they're on YouTube, so they have a higher mental opt-in. If someone is watching Alex Hormozi business videos, his brain is in the mindset of, I want to learn about business. If he sees a YouTube ad for something related to business while he's watching an Alex Hormozi YouTube video, you better believe he's going to click that ad and he's going to pay attention to what it says because it is speaking exactly to what he is actively doing at that moment in time. Whereas somebody on Facebook and Instagram, they might just be in class, like they're in college and they don't want to listen to the professor, so they're just scrolling through Instagram and they see your ad. I'm not saying that this doesn't work. I mean, people are still making millions from this, but this is generally just better if you want to get like specific with your targeting and you want a more engaged audience with a higher mental opt-in, right? There's also less restrictions because Google isn't as, it's not a family-oriented platform like Facebook is. It's a search engine, right? It's also better targeting because you can be extremely specific. You can target specific keywords rather than just general interests. You can also target more specific demographics, and it's easier to just track people's data. That's why you also have better retargeting. You have better targeting, you have better retargeting. After you track people's data, you can set them up on conversion pages, and the best part is you can cross-track people's data on YouTube and on Google. So someone comes in from a Google ad, you can track their data and you can run YouTube ads to them. You get someone's data from a YouTube ad, you can run Google ads to them. You can do that on both of these platforms. That's pretty neat. Also, ads are a bit cheaper. Like Facebook ads have gotten a lot more expensive over the last year or two. Google ads and YouTube ads haven't gotten that cheap. And the best part about YouTube ads, you don't pay for the click or the lead on the YouTube ad if they have not watched past 30 seconds of your ad. So what that means is, and this is the brilliant piece about YouTube advertising, is if you have a really good ad, people will not watch the first 30 seconds of your ad if they're not in your target audience, because you can strongly disqualify who this is and isn't for. For example, in my ad, I'm targeting online coaches that make at least 20K a month. So after I hook their ad, I'm like, this is the best ad you're gonna see all day. Let me show you why. And I got their attention, right? And then right before I actually get into it, I'm like, but before you get into that, whatever I say, this is only for coaches that are making 20 to 30K a month. If you're not making at least 20K a month, don't watch this video. It's just gonna confuse you. It's not gonna make sense. Skip the ad, watch the video you clicked on, bye. Now, if you're still here and you are a coach or a consultant or service provider that makes at least 20K a month and you wanna know how to scale your business, put everything on autopilot and just make money while having fun and enjoying life and just coaching people, then pay attention, because I'm gonna show you exactly, and now I got people's attention, right? The only people that are gonna watch that are the ones that are in my target audience. Might have the occasional unqualified lead, but 98% of those people that actually watch the whole ad are people that listened and decided to watch the ad because they resonate with what I'm saying. And all the unqualified leads skip the ad. So I'm not wasting my ad spend on unqualified leads like you would on Facebook and Instagram, because you can't even tell who's qualified and who's not until you speak to them. Way better, right? Better targeting, better retargeting, ads are cheaper, plus you have warmer traffic. Now, people are on Google because they're searching for things. People are on YouTube because they're usually trying to learn things. You have a lot of freelancers that have come into the digital age that have literally self-educated just from YouTube. Like, they haven't even bought a course, they just watched YouTube videos, educated themselves enough to be a freelancer, now they're making money. Like, YouTube is a really underestimated learning platform. And if you're advertising a coaching, a consulting, a service providing, or course type offer, YouTube is a gold mine for your leads. You can get so many. You just need to find out what channels do they watch and then advertise on those platforms. So another good thing about YouTube is you can literally reach from other people. So say I want to target people that are established business owners making $3 to $10 million a month. I can put all of my ads on Alex Hormozi's YouTube channel. And then everyone that watches Alex Hormozi's YouTube channel, my ads will show up that fit my targeting. My audience, I know exactly where they hang out. They watch these YouTube channels, I put my ads on their platform. Plus, after I pixel them, or after I get their data with my conversion tracking, they visit my funnel, I can run Google ads to them. So not only have they seen my YouTube ad, but now my Google display ads are also popping up anytime they're on the internet. Now I can really have omnipresence, right? What are some of the drawbacks of Google and YouTube ads? Because I know I made it sound amazing. Well, one, you need to have better ads. Now on Facebook, if you have some cheap ads, the copy isn't necessarily that great, right? The creative hasn't been super validated. You can generally still kind of get away with it and get some leads and get an okay return on ad spend. If you try that on Google, you're gonna fail, because you need to be very specific with what you actually advertise. Google is typically more advanced because people are looking for specific solutions to specific problems, and people are also trying to learn specific skills in specific niches. Specificity is key. So if you're vague and you're general and your copy sucks, then you're not gonna have a good time on Google and YouTube. You also need to know where to actually advertise. So if you've never run ads before and you're just kind of getting into it, I would not start with Google and YouTube. I'd start with Facebook and Instagram. It's a good way to test. You can get a very broad audience and you can kind of get a feel for how ads work, what data you're actually attracting with your ads, what audiences, what interests. Like, this is better for testing and getting data. But you need to already kind of know what you're doing on Google. It's not that beginner friendly. It requires a more sophisticated targeting and a more sophisticated audience, right? So for example, a client that I ran ads and created a funnel for, he was helping men fix premature ejaculation and erectile dysfunction. Now that's an extremely specific issue, right? It's a very specific problem. We couldn't even advertise on Facebook because the nature of his offer literally didn't comply with their policies. If I'd run his ads, we'd have gotten banned. So I couldn't even test it on Facebook. We went on Google. Dude literally booked like 15 sales calls in the first 3 weeks. during the testing phase of ads. Because specificity, found the right keywords, scaled them up, went absolutely wild, right? Let's talk about TikTok. TikTok is kind of like Instagram, except it's a little bit better, and it is absolutely dominating Instagram in every possible way. TikTok literally didn't exist a few years ago. Facebook has been around since like before 2010. Instagram has been around, I don't even know how long, at least 5 or 6 years. TikTok has been around, I don't even know, like you can Google it. I think maybe 2 or 3 years maximum. Has over 1 billion users. It's more sophisticated than Instagram. Now, before, TikTok used to be full of a bunch of teenagers just doing dances and looking like idiots. And I personally thought TikTok was a complete waste of time. But recently, as of 2022, a lot of content creators have been going viral on TikTok. One of them is Andrew Tate. Dude became famous because he's been going viral on TikTok. Just people are just posting Tate videos, and now everything is flooded with TikTok. It's translating over to YouTube too. Because the thing is, if you build an audience on TikTok, you kind of usually push them over to YouTube. There's a lot of things you can do with here, right? It's more sophisticated than Instagram in that TikTok is starting to become more educational. It before used to be a bunch of memes and like shit posts and just not anything of any substance, just people doing dances. But now you have coaches and content creators and business people making all of their video content like they would post on Instagram Reels. They're posting it on TikTok because TikTok has amazing reach. Like the TikTok algorithm is absolutely wonderful. You can grow organically on TikTok really, really fast, even better than on Instagram. The search algorithm and the actual content algorithm on TikTok is amazing. It's absolutely wonderful, right? So you get more reach than on Instagram. You're also getting a more sophisticated audience. The thing is, it's not as sophisticated as YouTube because it's still short form content, right? It's also purely video content, so you don't have all these images and text posts. It's just like a highlight reel of videos. So people can binge your profile really, really fast. And if you have a good profile, then people will binge it like it's the best thing ever. There's also less restrictions. TikTok wants more ads on their platforms because every single one of these social media platforms, they make practically all of their money from advertisers because we pay them money to advertise on their platform. I would say like 90 to 95% of revenue for all of these companies comes from people advertising on their platform. TikTok is still relatively new, so they want more people running ads on their platform. So ad costs are actually pretty cheap. And again, TikTok algorithm is great. Now, what are some of the drawbacks of TikTok? Well, one, it's starting to get saturated because people are catching on to the trend, hey, TikTok is a really good place to build and grow an audience. I actually know a fitness coach who literally made 80 grand in 1 month just from TikTok because she was posting content and people were just DMing her TikTok asking her if they could book a sales call. She made 80K in a week. Her name's Heather Deva. You can look her up. Another is short form content is the only thing you can really post on TikTok. So if you want to post long content, it's not going to do that well on TikTok. And you can't even really post content that long. Like it's not like YouTube. So every piece of content you post has to be short, educational, also value giving. You have to really nail the content creation aspect. And it's like Instagram in that if you don't post every day, then you get less engagement. What does that have to do with ads, right? Well, your ads are basically just paid TikToks because your ads are also kind of going to be a TikTok. You're not going to have like a 4-minute ad, and people are going to see your ads the same way that they see other TikToks. So it still has to create the same emotions in their brain, has to trigger the same dopamine, catch their attention, give them value. You're basically creating a TikTok, but you're paying TikTok money to show it to more people in simple terms. So you really need to master the short form video content aspect of TikTok in order to do well on it. Also, it's very competitive. Like TikTok is starting to get very, very competitive. All the pages that actually get really good reach have been getting good reach for a while, and the pages that have been getting good reach get even more reach. It's kind of like how advertising on Facebook works, where the people that spend the most money get the most traffic. The people that spend the least money get the least traffic. It just is what it is. So which one is best for you, right? Well, if you're advanced and you're experienced and you really want to find your exact specific client, like me, for example, I want to speak to exactly online coaches, consultants, service providers that make 20 to 30K a month and they want to scale to 100K a month. if you have a very specific targeting like that, Google and YouTube is where you want to go. Now, I would recommend that you start with YouTube ads and then you use Google ads for remarketing. I wouldn't just go Google ads because Google ads is very dependent on the search volume of your keywords. But if you go onto YouTube ads, you just create an ad and you can put it on the actual YouTube channels of other people that your audience watches, and you can get a lot of traffic from there. And if you did it right, then the only people that will watch your ad are the qualified leads that actually fit the targeting. And then you can get their data, retarget them with Google ads from there. And if you use Google display ads, you have access to basically every website on the internet that has images on it as ads, and your ads can show up basically everywhere. Really, really good if you want to develop massive omnipresence online and you want to target a very specific audience. TikTok ads, I would recommend if you're more intermediate, like you have good content, you know how to create good video content, you know how to hook people's attention, you're good at copywriting, you know how to get their attention, pull them in with a headline, lead them, create open loops, create curiosity. That way you can literally capitalize on TikTok's entire platform, because there's better people on TikTok than there are on Instagram. It's just shifting in that direction, and I was surprised when I found this out too. But at the same time, you need to make sure that you're good at content and copywriting and that you already know what your audience resonates with. Like, I wouldn't recommend TikTok if you're a complete beginner, because it's just not, it's not the best place to start. It's a good place to grow, and this is a good place to scale. So I'll put this: if you want to grow, go on TikTok. If you want to scale, go on Google and YouTube. And if you want to test and start, then I would go on Facebook and Instagram. So Facebook and Instagram. Now, why do I say this only test and start? I personally don't believe that Facebook and Instagram are the best places to scale and grow a business. I think it's a good place to start because you have an abundance of traffic. You can quickly test and validate an offer. Everybody does Facebook ads. The Facebook algorithm for advertising is pretty good, honestly. Like, the Facebook pixel is good. There's a lot of active users on Instagram. Your target audience might be hanging out on Facebook and Instagram as well. But if you're making a lot of money, I'm not saying don't run Facebook ads. This is usually not the best platform. Now, let's say you're running like a low ticket funnel. I don't know why you would, but let's just say you are, right? So you have a $27 mini course that people can buy. I wouldn't advertise that on Google and YouTube. Definitely wouldn't. I would advertise that on Facebook and Instagram because people will buy that. Now, if you have like a super high ticket offer, I would advertise that on Google and YouTube. You can still do it on Facebook and Instagram. I'm not saying that this doesn't work. There's people making millions just with Facebook and Instagram ads. But the thing is, it's just less qualified leads, less mental opt-in, lower traffic. You can get qualified leads from it, but generally it's just, if you're looking for high quality, precise leads, you're just better off advertising on Google and YouTube. Typically, when I work with clients, we start them with Facebook and Instagram ads for the first 3 months so that we can get in traffic, validate their offer, collect data, test what doesn't and doesn't work, see what the audience already resonates with, get winning creatives, get winning copy, just basically build out their entire funnel and make sure it works, right? Then months 4 to 6, we add in Google and YouTube ads so that we can scale what's already working. We have all the data that we got from Facebook and Instagram. We tested, we started, we collected data. Now we scale it with Google and YouTube ads to the point where people are making like multiple 6 figures a month. And then months 7 and onwards, we start adding in TikTok ads plus Pinterest and LinkedIn if they're B2B. And from there, we start building them a sales team, right? But this, honestly, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't start this until you know what you're doing. And this is like a good intermediate phase, and it's good for expanding, growing and expanding. Hope you can read that. So, hope that makes sense. That'll do it for this video. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. Also, if you want to know how you can scale your business to 7 figures on autopilot, go ahead and click the link below. I put together a short video presentation on how you can do exactly that. But hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Ciao.